And welcoming you back once again, TV Cogeco's coverage of the Chatham-Kent Cougars as we continue our home opener Saturday at the Athletic Complex. This time around, we've got the Varsity squad as they will start things off against the Peterborough Wolverines. It's either varsity action, and Wolverines winning the toss. They've deferred to the start of the second half, so the Cougars will get the football to start off this football game in the bright sunshine. Beautiful day here on a Retro Fest weekend in Chatham, and a bouncing football. Cougars having a little bit of trouble hanging onto the football around their own 20-yard line and dancing around some coverage and still making a lot of something out of potentially nothing up to the 35-yard line. Good job by Nathan McIntyre. A little rough start off the opening touch, but McIntyre making up for it as he's able to zigzag around some defenders. And 36-yard line's where the football ends up.
Yeah, good start there for the Cougars despite the bobble on the kickoff return. Nathan McIntyre, defensive back for Chatham-Kent. I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit more about him later in the broadcast, but speaking with the coaches ahead of time, they see big things from big number 11.
Senior varsity squad looking to improve on the 2013 season and certainly looking to get off on the right foot here in front of the home crowd. And a pretty decent one here at the Athletic Complex for this Saturday afternoon. And big quarterback for the Cougars, right through the air and up the middle, just over the outstretched hands of Alex Gardner. Jalen Butcher, the starting quarterback, number 5 for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. And that was maybe 4 or 5 inches too high for Alex Gardner to bring down. That was going to be a 20-25-yard gain if that one was able to come down cleanly.
Yeah, you'll notice the Cougars go straight to the hurry-up offense. That's what I've been told they like to do.
And Butcher in a bunch of trouble there. Good job by the Peterborough defense to swarm in. A couple of defensive linemen coming in quickly, and nothing much Butcher could have done there as he gets the sack and dropping about 4 yards.
Well, yeah, there won't be a lot of time to tell you what's going on in between plays. The offensive coordinator for the Cougars, Mike Newman, tells me that they like to go hurry-up offense as fast as the officials will let them go. So as you saw there, not a lot of time between plays. The Cougars forced into a third and long situation here, and obviously going to look to punt this one away.
And the kick is up. Pretty good kick, and that will come out of bounds. Floating out of bounds at around the 43-yard line into Peterborough territory. So that is where the Wolverines will be on offense now. So 3 and out. Or I suppose a 2 and out for the Cougars as they begin the season here. The varsity team trying to recreate what the Pee Wee Cougars did earlier on this afternoon. They had quite the showing against the Forest City Thunderbirds, and they just run roughshod over the visitors from London, Ontario, 24-0. They shut out Forest City, so that was a good showing for the Cougars program. Good best foot forward they put on earlier today, so we'll see what happens here at the varsity game. Peterborough with the ball now, and it's handed off to the running back right off the start, trying to find a hole along that far side. And number 21 finding a whole lot of daylight still along that far sideline, brought down past the 35-yard line. Good job by Logan White as he gets a whole bunch of yardage in the first offensive play of the season for the Peterborough Wolverines. And things all the way up to the 28-yard line. So that was a great job by White.
And speaking with the coaches, last season, White actually led the league in yards from scrimmage, and he missed 2 games. So that tells you a lot about White and how dangerous he is at that running back position.
And dropping back to pass again, finding his man for some big-time yardage. They continue to move forward. Peterborough doing a good job early on the offensive side of things, and bringing that one down. Looked to be Warren Reed. Good enough for first down yardage once again. They have quickly made it up to the 16-yard line of Chatham-Kent. And once again, quarterback handing it off this time. They look to pass, but it's once again handed off to Logan White. And quarterback Brock Manley switching things up from the air attack to the ground attack, and it's all the way up to the Cougars' 5-yard line now. First and goal, as we have played 3 minutes of this first quarter.
Well, so far, this Peterborough squad, the Wolverines, looking very potent on offense and multi-dimensional with that versatile running back White back there. And then obviously the passing game also a threat so far.
Quarterback once again looking to find that far end of the end zone, far corner, and that goes over top of the intended receiver. And so it'll be second and goal from the 5-yard line.
Well, I can tell you on the TV side of things with the camera and the zoom, you may be able to read the numbers a little bit easier than we can up here in the booth. With the colors on these jerseys, sometimes a bit of a challenge to make out exactly what number is on those jerseys.
We do know that Brock Manley's under center. He has it once again. A little bit of pressure here, and a lot of pressure from the Cougars, getting the throw away, and just over top of the outstretched hands of the receiver along the near side here. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 play here for Peterborough. We'll see if they go for the field goal to get the first points of this game, or they try to attack the end zone.
Yeah, unless the field goal kicker is on the starting offense, it looks like they're going to go for it. And yeah, they're not lining up for for a field goal. They're going to go for it here on third and goal.
See what Brock Manley can do here on 3rd and 5. First offensive rush here for the Peterborough club, and does not happen.
Uh-oh, some extracurriculars there.
Turnover on downs, but 2 flags on the field right after that play came to an end.
You certainly hope that's not against the Cougars, because that could cost them a stop on 3rd down.
Which they were able to do a good job of on a 3rd and 5.
And that's against...
So the Cougars have it back again, very deep in their own zone, just trying to keep out of the end zone for safety.
Yeah, just to clarify that last play, the penalty was against the Cougars, but it did come after the whistle, and therefore the Cougars retain possession of the football deep in their own end.
Second down and then, the ball on the 1-yard line of the Cougars, so they're backed up as far as they could possibly go. And again, this one is whistled down, another flag right off of the snap of the football. Again, that doesn't bode too well for the Cougars.
Oh, it's against Chatham-Kent.
So that's an offside call against the Cougars, and they lose the down. So now it is a 3rd and 10 situation on the 1-yard line. So that pretty much makes this offensive possession. They didn't do anything with it, so they're going to have to kick this one away from deep in their own end zone, and they're going to have to hurry to get this kicked away, and they're actually just going to take a knee in the end zone. and play the field position game, give up a couple of points.
Yeah, better to do that than risk either a kick getting blocked or a short kick or giving up a big return, because obviously going to have good field position there when you're kicking from your own end zone. So better to give up the 2 points and get yourself back into a decent field position to defend this Peterborough Wolverines offense, which so far on the opening drive anyway looks to be quite dangerous.
On both the ground and in the air, an impressive opening possession for Peterborough. Didn't come away with any offensive points. And still very early on in this football game, so that safety in the end zone makes it 2-0. 10:27 remaining in quarter number 1. Chatham-Kent Cougars, we've got the Varsity squad with their home and season opener this afternoon. And directly coming after the Pee Wee level, had a very good afternoon. Their season opener in a 24-0 victory over the Forest City Thunderbirds. So this is the first points given up by a Cougar team today. And after the safety, they will kick it back to Peterborough.
Nice kick there from Trevor Niven.
And it comes down outside the 20-yard line. And a fairly decent return for Peterborough here up to the 30-yard line. Watson on the return. And that's where the Wolverines will start another offensive possession here. 10:22 to go in the first quarter.
Well, just a 10-yard return there, so good coverage there from the Cougars special teams. Go back on defense, and as we mentioned on that first possession, Peterborough really did a nice job. It was the Cougars defense that really stiffened up there at the end along the goal line, but Peterborough was able to drive down the field. We'll see how the Cougars defense responds here on the second possession from the Wolverines.
Shotgun formation, quick shovel pass off to the left side and getting past one defender, falling down around the 35-yard line. On the run there, that is John Dirks who had the carry. And getting about half the distance to another first down.
Nathan McIntyre just getting a bit of a shoestring tackle there, or else that could have been a dangerous run. But a good job by McIntyre to get his hand out and clip the shoe of the running back and get him down, limit him to just a 5-yard gain.
2nd and 5. Again, quarterback dropping to pass. It is complete past the 40-yard line. That's going to be enough for the first down. And McNeil is the receiver who holds that one in. The pass from Brock Manley. Good for a 6-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains. First down and 10. Actually,
I think they're just going to look it over. Yeah.
I shouldn't confirm that just yet. I thought he was.
They're going to call that a first down.
And he will.
See,
I thought
Mike, you knew what was happening.
Initially,
even,
I
from
thought
up
that
here
was
in the booth.
It's all about angles. Initially, I thought that was well past the marker, but from where they put that football down, a lot closer than I initially thought. But it is a first down and 10 here from the 41-yard line. Still in Peterborough territory. Shotgun once again as they hand it off to, fake to the running back. They elected to pass it, and that's an incomplete. 2nd down and 10, fooling even me. Thought they were going to the ground with that one.
Nice job by Carter Wood there, getting his hands in on that pass and knocking it away from the receiver. That time, Peterborough overloading that right side. They send 4 receivers out, and just one receiver isolated here on the near side of the field where we are. This Peterborough Wolverines offense likes to go spread, and as their coaching staff tells us, they've got some weapons.
Back to pass once again. Here's a long pass attempt and a diving shot at it from the receiver. Number 85 gave it all he had there. Is Brandon Awan. A for effort there, but that football was about a foot out of his reach. That would have been a spectacular catch if he connected with that one.
Yeah, he had about a step, maybe a step and a half on the next nearest defensive back. Just the ball, just as you mentioned, just a little bit long and off target, or else that could have been a dangerous reception.
And so no trepidation, and the quarterback for Peterborough, Brock Manley, he's not scared to air that football out and try for the big play. And now here's a little trickery here as they look to be punting this one away. Instead, they're trying to gun for that first down, and they're going to make it past midfield. And Devin Claypool on the fake punt. Cougars defense unable to wrap him up, and that is a first down for the Wolverines as they use some trickery on third down to still move the chains in their favor up to the 51-yard line past midfield.
Well, Peterborough not afraid to pull out all the stops here early going, showing a lot of confidence in their special teams and their offense, and feel like they want to keep their offense on the field. And it pays off there with the big first down, keep this Cougars defense on the field.
Back to 1st and 10. Manley handing it off as they run it up the middle and only getting maybe a yard on the ground. 2nd and 9.
That's a good job there from Carter Wood, number 33, with the sure tackle. Because Logan White looked like he might look to bounce off of that pile and kick it outside, but a good wrap up there from Wood to hold him into a minimum gain and drag him down to the turf.
7:35 and counting to go in this opening quarter. 2nd and 8 for Peterborough. And again, they toss it to the running back along that far side, trying to churn his legs, get as much yardage as he can. Brought down is Logan White, several yards behind first down yardage marker.
Oh, good job from the defense there, swarming, not letting Logan White get outside where he thought he could see some daylights, some sure tackling in there after eluding the initial tackle attempt from that Cougars defense. And punting situation here for Peterborough again. We'll see what they elect to do. As we mentioned, the first time they looked to punt on this drive, it was a fake, so certainly that's going to be in the back of the minds of the Cougars.
Snap is back, and no fake this time. They do kick it away along that far side. With the football bounce, now picked up by the Cougars, and only about a 2 or 3 yard return. Looks like Dorian Payne is the one who gobbled up the football. Partly that was Bartlett that got it. 6:55 left in quarter number 1. And it's still a 2-0 lead for Peterborough.
So far, Peterborough winning the field position battle. This is the second time now the Cougars going to have the ball inside their own 20. If you remember on their last possession, they were just in the shadow of their own goal line. Now on the 15-yard line to start.
Again, right after the snap, play whistle down, flags out. See another offside call perhaps against Chatham-Kent. We'll see what the official call here is. It appears to be against the Cougars. Offside and a 5-yard penalty against Chatham-Kent, so they're backed up again to the 10-yard line. So it looks like deja vu from the last drive for Chatham-Kent.
Maybe a little bit of rust here to knock off for the Cougars. First game of the season. It's the second offensive penalty we've seen.
Bit of a high snap. Quarterback brings it down, and he had the reception, but the receiver, Alex Gardner, drops it. Butcher with a good throw, and Gardner just couldn't haul it in. And that will be 2nd and 15. So offensively, things a little bit discombobulated for Chatham-Kent here.
Yeah, that's too bad because Gardner had his hands on that football, and he had a little bit of space in there too where that ball hit him in the hands, but just couldn't pull it in.
And Butcher with the snap again, and another penalty is out on the field here right after the snap happens. So not much flow to this offense for the Cougars. And again, it's against the Cougars, so they keep getting backed up in their own zone. And this will bring it back to the Chatham-Kent 5-yard line in a 2nd and 20. I believe by my count a 3rd offside call, and we're only halfway through the first quarter. Gardner again, running off to his right. Sorry, that's Butcher, the quarterback. Butcher bringing it out himself, trying to muscle his way to the 20-yard line. And a good run by Butcher.
Yeah, that's
still able to get 13 yards or so on that run.
Yeah, that's a good job by Butcher just to get out of the danger of his own end zone where he was situated, looking for a receiver down the field. But, you know, it's tough when you've got 3 penalties going against you on offense and it's only your 3rd offensive possession. I mean, it's a tough start, so you hope to see the offense settle in, and you would expect that, but the first couple of possessions here, a little bit of rust, you figure, and the Cougars going to look to get that sorted out for sure.
Long season ahead. Kick is up now for the Cougars. A bit of a bobble here for Peterborough, but able to recover and keep possession for Peterborough. Number 21, that's Logan White. And Peterborough will have the football in Cougar territory inside the 50.
Yeah, pretty good field position. Again, as we mentioned, Peterborough still controlling that battle of field position at this point, still on the Cougar side of the field where they'll start on offense. So a lot of pressure here on the defense to start this game for Chatham-Kent. But so far the defense has responded, only giving up 2 points despite Peterborough being in scoring position on a couple of occasions.
5:20 and counting to go, opening quarter. Safety, the only scoring so far in this game. 2-0 Peterborough. They have it on the ground. Good job of the Cougar defense as they're able to wrap up the running back pretty quickly after a minimal, if any, gain by number 1. That was Michael McNeil with the carry.
Yeah, great job there by the defense that time. Just plugging everything up in the middle. Tanner Emery in there on helping with the tackle. One of the strengths of this Cougars defense is their linebackers who are all returning from last year. So that certainly helps in your continuity and your defense in calling your schemes.
Was a 1-yard pickup there. Another carry for Peterborough and another great job by the D-line of the Cougars. And a 3rd down and long is coming up here. And no gain, so 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
The punting unit coming out here for Peterborough. Cougars doing what they have to defensively here after giving up that safety early on in this quarter. And 2-0 is what it remains.
Emery and Wood in on the tackles again that time. Good job from Chatham-Kent's defense, really responding, looking for the 2 and out.
And the kick is up high in the air along the near sideline and floats well out of bounds. Left the field at around the 35-yard line of the Cougars. See where exactly they spot it, but fairly decent field position here for the Cougars in their own territory. 4:06 to go in the opening quarter.
Well, fair to say that one was shanked a little bit. Clearly the kicker trying to angle it for the corner of the end zone and get it to bounce out of bounds, but looked like that one came off the side of his foot, and Chatham-Kent going to start at their own 35, so better starting position than they've had their last 2 possessions, and we'll see if that'll certainly help in the play calling anyway for the offensive coordinator. Gives you a lot more options in terms of the plays that you want to run.
Cougars back on offense. Quarterback shoveling it off to the running back along that far side. Fighting off a couple of defenders, and Marcus Shad getting his first carry attempt. Doing a good job there. So Shad looks to have got about 7 on that last run.
Yeah, good job by Shad to turn the corner on that far side, and also a good job by Butcher to get rid of that ball just in time. Had a defensive lineman breathing down his neck coming up from behind and just got that pitch off to Shad, who turned that into a nice gain.
Once again, on the ground it goes for the Cougars, and bowling his way towards the first down marker. We'll see if he got it or not. And Collette got
just short.
Got the honors there, and it looks, yeah, maybe about a half a yard away from the first down. So third down and very short.
And the Cougars going to go for it. No surprise here. Third and inches.
And several flags come out.
It's gonna. You gotta figure this is probably going against Chatham-Kent here.
And indeed, they back up. Another 5-yard penalty here for the Cougars as they get themselves into a whole lot of penalty trouble in this first quarter.
And that's going to lead them to change their minds on going for it. You go from 3rd and inches to 3rd and 5. So now instead of going for it and looking to get a fresh set of downs, you've got to change your mind and turn to the punting game. So I thought that first down, had they gotten it, would have been big for this Cougars offense and the team as a whole, just to get some confidence, some momentum on their side. But unfortunately, the penalty comes back to bite them, and they're going to be forced to kick this one away.
They need that one spark of confidence to get them going. They haven't had it just yet, and all these penalties have to be deflating for them. As they kick it away once again, good kick brought down around the 40-yard line of Peterborough up to the 45, and not much past. Good boot from Niven, and the Wolverines have the football once again.
Defense being called upon to answer the bell here. Again, the fact that they've only given up 2 points, considering the field position that Peterborough has had so far in this game, is very promising for the defense and the defensive coaching staff. They've done a real good job here in limiting Peterborough on the scoreboard. The question is, how long can they continue that?
They need some offensive support. Hopefully, as the game wears on, things get a little bit smoother with that. And a pass from the quarterback going to nobody in particular there, falls incomplete at midfield.
Good coverage there from Eric DeMars, the linebacker, one of the returning linebackers here for this Cougars defense, as I mentioned earlier. Out in front of the receiver and made sure that pass wasn't caught.
2:10 remaining. Quarter number 1. 2-0 for Peterborough. They have the football in their own 45-yard line. To the air once again, and almost intercepted. That close. Trevor Niven putting both hands on his helmet as it goes off his fingertips. Getting a little bit of confidence from Tanner Emery as he's heading off towards that far sideline, but he couldn't believe that he didn't hold that one in for an INT. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Niven's not going to feel good about that at all, and a play like that can also spark your team. You get an interception, maybe you get a nice return out of it. That remains, I mean, that's going to be a mystery, obviously, but you need that kind of a spark maybe to get your team going. It just seems like the Cougars just need that one play to kind of get them sparked, and, well, good job by the defense nonetheless, though, to make sure that ball falls incomplete and force the Wolverines into a punting situation.
Positives are they hold them to another 2-and-out, and a very high snap. Still brought in another fake punt play here for Peterborough, and then they throw it, and it just falls short of the fingertips of the intended receiver on that fake punt play, and the Cougars will grab the football back on the turnover on downs.
Well, that might be the spark that this Cougars team needs. Now you've got some good field position, something you can work with. You're now on the Peterborough side of the field for the first time at their 45, and some decent field position now. That field position battle is starting to even out now.
30 and 91 seconds to go in the first quarter. They bring it on the ground once again, trying to find some room right up the middle, and maybe 2 yards at best is what they get there on the ground. And Dillette with the carry.
Not a lot of room up in there where where all the tunas live.
Just a 1-yard pickup for Dillette for the Cougars. 2nd down and 9. See if they go to the air on this play. Looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. They let the ball go right up the middle, and that pass far too high for the intended receiver, Ben Bartlett, to bring down from Jalen Butcher. So 3rd and 9 here as the Cougars still unable to move the chains here in this first quarter. Under a minute to play.
Yeah, Bartlett just able to get his fingertips on that one, but couldn't haul it in. Just looked like it was maybe his left hand. Just able to get fingertips on it. And good thing he actually did, because the safety was coming across the other side, and had he not gotten his fingertips on that football, might have gone right into the hands of the safety playing center field there. So good job by Bartlett, at least to get a hand on it and make sure it falls incomplete. And instead of going for it on 3rd and 9, Cougars going to play field position here and punt this one away. And the wind just feels like it's shifted now, blowing into the face of the Cougars.
Good punt as he gets it away, falls around the 25-yard line. Bouncing back to the 13, now picked up by Peterborough and shoved out of bounds. Number 23 for Peterborough, picking that one up, Matt McFarland. And only 8.5 seconds to go in the opening quarter. See what the Cougars D can do once again. Still only a 2-0 football game, so both defenses doing a very good job to kick off this season in the first quarter.
Well, the special teams getting the job done there. Wolverines going to start at their 24-yard line. So slowly but surely, the defense doing its job, and the offense helping out, pushing that Wolverines offense back, eventually now into deeper into their own territory, and this is going to be their deepest starting position so far here in the first half.
Last play of the first quarter, it will be on the ground as another carry for running back number 21, Logan White, getting the lion's share of the carries on the ground for Peterborough in this football game. He'll bring it up for another first down.
Good tackle there from Nathan McIntyre, number 11, fighting off the block of the receiver and then getting White down to the ground.
So that'll move the chains. First and 10 for the Peterborough Wolverines as we begin quarter number 2. So they change sides of the field. Some positives here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars, and that's largely on the defense. They're able to keep this game very close. Not giving up very many big plays at all for the Peterborough offense, which can be explosive at times.
And if you're on the other side of things, Peterborough right now, the coaching staff and likely the offense thinking to themselves, how are we only leading 2-0 after pretty much dominating most of that first quarter, especially field position. A couple times they had it inside the 10-yard line of the Cougars and came away with no points. So credit to the Cougars defense, and Peterborough got to be licking their chops here, wondering how they're only leading by 2.
Hopefully the Cougars can perhaps continue that frustration and somehow sneak back into this game. They need some offensive bursts, though. And just that spark has not been there when they have the football.
And you know what? Depending on what happens later on in this game, I mean, potentially you could say that maybe the coaching staff for Peterborough might question going for it on a couple of those third downs when they were in scoring position, where they could have kicked a pretty easy field goal, or a pretty easy attempt in terms of how many yards that field goal attempt would be, depending again on the outcome of the game.
36-yard line. The Wolverines. Brock Manley at quarterback. Logan White, number 1 receiver, and now the Varsity squad getting their turn at starting off the 2014 season. Rough first quarter. Offensively, defensively playing very good. And that's why it's only a 2-0 football game.
And the blood coming from the running back for Peterborough, Logan White, number 21. And he showed the referee as he came back onto the field, showing the referee. The referee says, let me see where exactly the blood was coming from. Show me that it's not visible anymore. And he did exactly that. So Logan White back into the game.
And ball comes the 45-yard line. I don't quite believe enough to have first yardage, although it will be mighty close, but it looks like it's going to be about a half a yard to a yard shy. So second down and 1. As the Wolverines keep it on the ground, doing a good job. But they won't be happy until they're able to get deep in the Cougar territory and quite possibly within striking distance of the end zone. Safety, the only scoring we have in just over a quarter of football here. Once again, they run it right up the gut, trying to get that extra yardage for the first down, and they do that no problem. And that's again Logan White getting the honors on the ground. So White moving the chains. About 48-yard line is where the football is now. Minute and a half into this second quarter. Brock Manley gets the snap once again and trying to find his receiver along the left-hand side, and another flag being thrown. And this might be again going to the Cougars after McIntyre wrestling the intended receiver to the ground maybe a little bit too vigorously. We'll find out what the call is definitively here.
Tough to penalize, I would think, the defensive back McIntyre on that one, because he's on the back of the intended receiver, and there's a chance that he doesn't see that the receiver has dropped the ball, so he's completing the tackle, if that's what the call is. And it is against the Cougars. Yeah, they're going to call it unnecessary roughness, and I think they're going to call that against Nathan McIntyre. Again, the referee's making the call based on the assumption that the defensive back knows that the receiver doesn't have the football, but from our vantage point anyway, that's a difficult assumption to make, because the defensive back is on the back of the receiver, so he can't see the front of the receiver where the ball would be positioned. But nonetheless, penalty going against the Cougars there, and first down for Peterborough.
Nothing the Cougars can do about it, so they have to shake it off and work on the next series here as Peterborough keeps it on the ground, and the Cougars defense swarming running back, bringing them down after a very minor pickup. Getting him maybe 2 if they're lucky, about a yard and a half on the ground. Second and a long 8. Quarterback trying to find his man. Did he catch it? No, it bounced right in front of him. Almost a reception for Brandon Awan, but it falls incomplete just a few inches in front of his hand. So that one falls to the ground, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. So another good job by the Cougars defense. And that unfortunate penalty doesn't come back to bite him. But again, I should wait until the Cougars have the ball in their possession, because we've seen 2 fake punts already in this game by the folks from Peterborough. Yeah,
and there's no doubt that's in the back of the minds of all the Cougars on the field right now. And again, they have 2 cover men lined up onside, so they can recover the kick as well. That's something to keep in mind.
Snap, and again, they're going for the fake punt, and brought down. Good job by number 11, Nathan McIntyre. He brings down Claypool, and a desperation pass before he hits the turf falls incomplete. So good job for the second time out of 3 anyway that the Cougars able to withstand the fake punt attempt.
And you wonder if that was an adjustment by the Cougars coaching staff to get McIntyre up on the line of scrimmage and have him rush the kicker having known that Peterborough had faked 2 kicks already. You want to get an athlete in there like McIntyre who has the speed to get back to the kicker if he's going to try to run it or run to a position where he can throw that football. You have an athlete like McIntyre, big number 11, that can get out there and make that play, which he did.
Cougars have the football as they look to pass the 50-yard line on the ground, and they do.
It's good gain on first down, 5 yards.
Jacob Broad on the carry. Halfway to a first down, 2nd and 5. Cougars would love to convert this one right here and keep this drive going. Chance for the Cougars to get a couple of extra yards. They're going to fall just short. Good attempt by Jalen Butcher, keeping the football and getting ever so close to completing a first down himself. He's about half a yard shy. And is it pretty much academic that the Cougars will just go for it here at midfield?
Last drive they did have a similar situation and unfortunately went offside, so we'll see if they can be a little bit more patient here.
Butcher in the shotgun, keeping it on the ground, and the Cougars doing a good job. No question about it there. Broad with the carry right up the gut. And first down for the Cougars, which is quite huge because they haven't had that kind of success yet in this football game, so maybe they can continue to have a string of these.
No, that's right. It's taken a little bit here, but finally the Cougars get their first down of this game, and you can just feel that maybe they're starting to gain a little more confidence now and can get things rolling after some early penalty trouble.
Butcher barking out the calls. He now keeps it himself and in trouble, able to have a backwards pass to Marcus Shad, but Shad had nowhere to go, and this is going to result in about maybe a 7-yard loss here for the Cougars right off the start. Butcher in a whole lot of trouble, and unfortunately Shad wasn't able to do much with that flick of the football from Butcher.
Now just too much pressure in the backfield before Butcher could really make any kind of a motion and decide what he wanted to do with the football. He had 2 defenders draped all over him and was lucky to even get that ball off to Shad.
See what Butcher can do here on 2nd and 17, and he threw it into trouble there, intended by Marcus Shad, and it falls incomplete. So 3rd and 17, and Shad showing some frustration there, and I'm sure he speaks for his teammates, all of his teammates there, as they just wanted to keep that football moving as much as they could and try and get close to the end zone. But another drive failing for the Cougars offensively.
Yeah, Shad felt like he should make that catch, even though it looked like maybe the ball a little bit behind him, but you know, confident in his abilities, feeling like that's a ball that he should have. Unfortunately, couldn't hang on to it, and don't know that he would have had enough for the first down anyways, but would have given the Cougars offense something to think about. Instead, they're forced to punt this one away.
A high kick coming down around the 30-yard line. Number 21 for Peterborough, it's Logan White on the return. And this drive for Peterborough will begin around the 35-yard line. 8:47 remaining, about halfway through the second quarter. Still only 2-0. The first quarter intentional safety by the Cougars. That's the only scoring we've had in this entire football game so far, so both defenses coming up quite huge. And they keep it on the ground. And a gentleman we've called quite a bit so far in this game, Logan White, he continues to get a lot of the carries, and he fights his way up to the 45-yard line.
Boy, he is tough to bring down. Looked like a couple of defenders had him in their sights, even had their hands on him, but he shows you why. He's their feature back and was the all-purpose leader last season. He is elusive and pick up 9, almost 10 yards. They're even going to measure this one on that first down run.
Yeah. picking up at least 9 3/4 yards on that carry. But riding the feet of Logan White are the Peterborough Wolverines.
And the fact that he was the all-purpose leader from the line of scrimmage leads you to believe that maybe he's also a weapon out of the backfield catching the football, which we haven't seen yet today.
And
but
they call a first down.
But we might see that yet to come. Still a lot of time left in this one. 8:14 in the first half to go.
I think that measurement came right down to the very tip of the football. The referee was right down on his knees looking at it, and I think the very tip of the football got enough of what they needed there. So a 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. 45-yard line of Peterborough. 8 minutes even to go in the second quarter. Quarterback dropping back to pass, waiting for somebody, and now just chucking it up in the air, really to nobody in particular, falling down to the Cougars' 30-yard line, well beyond any close receiver for Peterborough. So that falls to a 2nd and 10.
Good coverage there from number 12, Trevor Niven, and 43, Thomas Van Ray. Both of them in the vicinity of the receiver that seemed to be the intended receiver in that area. And ball well overthrown, but was no threat of being caught whatsoever. Some good coverage there from the back end of that Cougars defense.
The shotgun, Manley has it. Some pressure right in front of him, still able to get the dump pass away. And the reception yards after the catch, a lot down that far sideline. There is a flag on the play. We'll see how that works out, but Broad, or pardon me, that was Logan White, other side of the coin. White with a giant run, but again, we'll see how the flag will shape this here.
And we mentioned it, we hadn't seen him catch the ball out of the backfield, but we figure he probably had that ability. And there you see it, they set up the screen pass, and we see the officials on the field calling it back here. Looks like that penalty going against the Wolverines.
Holding, I believe, the call.
But that gives you an idea of just how dangerous Logan White can be running the football or out of the backfield.
Back to the 35-yard line, so that is a huge penalty against Peterborough. And Cougars might be thinking right now, oh, finally. We had a ton of penalties against us up until this point. And now this could be a damaging one for Peterborough as they're backed up to the 35-yard line. And 2nd and 20. So a long way to go here, and they elect to keep it on the ground. And they still are going to get first down yardage, almost a 25-yard run. Looked like Cole Bartholomew with the carry that time around for Wolverines. Pardon me, 32. That was Devin McCallum. Not 33, but 32. McCallum, a 25-yard run. So when the Cougars have them at 2nd and 20, Peterborough comes out with a play like that. So yeah, that's got to be defeating.
Yeah, that is. That's a tough one to swallow if you're a defender for Chatham-Kent. No time to think about that, though. You got to think about the next play.
That's right. Again, predictably, they keep it on the ground once again, and they're able to cross the 50-yard line to around the 47. McCallum again with the run. Close to a 7-yard, 6-yard run there for McCallum. 2nd and manageable here for Peterborough.
Well, the Wolverines picking up yardage in pretty good chunks now on the ground. Cougars going to have to come up with a big play here to stop the momentum Peterborough seems to be building up on this drive.
2nd and 4, 47-yard line into Cougar territory. Once again, they keep it on the ground, and this time, good job by the Cougar D. Looked like that was Dwan Mayu with the stop. Or 53, pardon me, Cam Ryland Ward. And
yeah, good job by Ryland Ward there.
Yeah, 3rd down coming up here. Still a couple of yards shy of the first down, so we'll see with 5:33 to go in the first half. What Peterborough likes to do here with this 3rd down, we have seen, has it been 3 fake field goals
now?
That's
right, and
yeah.
I don't believe them that they're going to punt this one. 3rd and 3.
They've been 1 for 3.
I'm going out on a limb here. I don't believe that they're going to punt this.
Back, and you're right. Mr. Mike James calls it correctly. Oh, and now they do kick it away. Once they discover that wasn't going to work out in their favor, and it hits the top of their tent along that far side there. So the Cougars will get the football back, but they tried to use some trickery again. The 4th fake field goal attempt.
Yeah, they left that ball in the
kick attempt, pardon me.
That's right. They left the ball in the hand of the punter to decide what he wanted to do. So you let him run out to the far side. He can decide if he wants to run it. If he sees a receiver there, he can throw it. If he sees neither, get the kick off before you get tackled, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't see any kind of opening to get that first down, so he got the kickoff just in time, and the Cougars will get the ball back.
The 35-yard line. We're now inside 5 minutes to go, and now play stopped.
Maybe it looks like a timeout here from the Cougars.
So we'll talk things over here. Still a 2-0 football game. An early first quarter safety.
Well, certainly the first star of this game so far for the Cougars is their defense.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown that they're a tough group and are going to fight right to the end. But you got to start to think that fatigue could start to become a factor if this continues, because the Cougars' offense has struggled to get first downs and hasn't given their defense a lot of time to catch their breath on the sidelines. So over a period of time, that can start to wear down your defense, and that will show in the second half if they can't get a little more offensive production going and put some points on the board.
They were able to score a first down in their last drive offensively, but then that was stalled quickly, unable to follow that up with any more success. And they had to give the ball away again. So see what the Cougars do here. 35-yard line. 4:58 to work with here in the second quarter. Still only 2-0. Back, and the quarterback has some problems, loses the football. Fortunately, right there, the Cougars able to retain possession after it was knocked out of Jalen Butcher's hand. Right there was Patrick Lanigan-Fagan.
We have a flag on the field as well, but you're right, Mike. Fortunate are the Cougars to get that football. It bounced right into his hands. We'll wait to see, though, what the flag is on the play. It's holding and it's going against Chatham-Kent, so that's declined.
Holding against Chatham-Kent declined.
The penalties continue to be a problem for the Cougars here this first half. I'm sure that will be addressed in the locker room at halftime.
And it's worth noting that, and you mentioned the penalties being a problem. The penalties are on offense, not on defense. It's not evened out across the team. Most of the penalties, if not all, coming against the offense of the Cougars.
And quarterback getting out of trouble initially, keeps the ball, and pops loose. Let's see from the pile who picks up the football past the 35-yard line.
So we've got a fumble on consecutive plays here for the Cougars, and it looks like Chatham-Kent has recovered it.
Picking up close to 7. Cougars on 3rd and 11. Just kick this one away once again.
Good kick there.
A little bit of problems recovering that one. Another quick whistle there around the 30-yard line of Peterborough. So a great kick there by the Cougars.
And good coverage as well.
Yeah.
Get down there just as they were trying to recover that bobbled punt. And you mentioned a bit of a quick whistle there, but looked like the Wolverines would have recovered it regardless. Good job there from the special teams of the Cougars to put Peterborough back on their own side of the field at the 30-yard line. This one might. This game is starting to look like it's going to come down to the defense of the Cougars to make a play and maybe get a score.
Still lots of football to go. 3.5 to play in the second quarter. And 1st and 10, Peterborough is to keep it on the ground and getting minimal yardage up the middle. White again with the honors. 2nd and 7 coming up. Dropping back to pass on 2nd and 7, going long down the field. This one's going to be several feet over the head of the intended receiver for the Wolverines. That time looked like Josh McLaren was where the quarterback wanted to head there.
Nathan McIntyre in on the coverage, and the safety Trevor Niven coming over there too. Make sure that one falls incomplete.
The 3-minute warning comes into effect here. 2:48 to go in the first half. And the Varsity Cougars down by 2 points. It's a 2-0 game. Offense not really working for either team. And 3rd and 7, bringing up another punting situation, we think, for Peterborough. And they do get the kick away this time after 4 fake kick attempts.
That's a good job there from the Cougars, getting some pressure in on the kicker, and not the strongest of kicks there either for the Wolverines. So the Cougars going to have some pretty decent field position here on Peterborough's side of the field. And really here with 2:34 to go here in the first half, this is a situation where if your offense can just get a little something going, give you some confidence heading into the half, a little spark, you know, maybe you even get into scoring position here. You put a field goal on the board, just something to build off of, because there's no doubt the offense has struggled here in the first half so far, but they've had their share of penalties go against them. They've shot themselves in the foot with those penalties. If they can clean that up, we could see a different team in the second half.
Still a little bit of time to go here in the second quarter as they run it up the middle and past the 50-yard line. 2:29 to go. A big play here on 2nd and 7. Jalen Butcher playing out of the shotgun formation. Receives the snap, dropping back to pass. Some big-time pressure here by the D. Still getting a good pass away and a completion.
Oh, what a catch.
What a catch. Good job by number 85, Max Fantus. We haven't called his name much in this game so far, but this could be a spark here as Fantus hauls it in on double coverage, it looked like. And
in traffic,
yeah,
for sure. Uses that big body and good hands there from the big man.
So a big offensive play there by the Cougars. Maybe the best one we've seen all afternoon here. Once again, they a little razzle-dazzle and keeping it on the ground. Max Fantus, consecutive plays. A big reception, then a carry along the left-hand side. He gets a couple of yards. And we're under 2 to play, 1:58 remaining.
Well, this is the deepest we've seen the offense have the football here for the Cougars. Already in field goal position.
Second and a very long 8 to go. 20-yard line of Peterborough. Back to pass and almost intercepted. Some wires crossed there, the offense for the Cougars, and that was almost picked off by McLaren on defense.
Looked like that might have been intended for Ben Bartlett, but the ball behind him and knocked down, and luckily not intercepted. The defensive back able to get 2 hands on that one, but it hits the turf. So Cougars here with a chance to put a field goal on the board if they choose to go for 3. And they will bring in the field goal unit.
It's 3rd and 9, 20-yard line.
Trevor Niven lining this one up.
And Niven trying to get the Cougars on the board, and that would give them a lead if this one splits the uprights. Only down by 2 right now. Kick is a little low. The kick is up, and it is good. And it is a lead for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. After their most successful offensive drive, it culminates in 3 points as Niven gets it through the uprights, and it's a 3-2 Cougar lead after kind of a bizarre first half. We're not quite done with it yet. Still a minute 38 left to go. But who would have thought after what we've seen here in the almost first 2 quarters, Cougars lead from that kick.
Well, you know what? That's all it takes, though. It just goes to show you if you can win the field position battle, which the Cougars fought back into and had decent field position to start that drive. They make one big play. Max Fantus gets the big catch there. And then that automatically, because you start out with decent field position, you're already in field goal range. You get a couple more yards, and then you make a kick, and you've got 3 points on the board. And good for the Cougars. They manufacture some points there on offense. They come up with a big play, and now you got yourself a lead. Certainly that's going to pump the tires of the defense a little bit because their hard work has paid off now, and your team maybe gets a little more fired up.
Niven ready to kick it away. Looking to boot this one deep into Peterborough territory, and he gets under this one. And this one comes down around the 40-yard line, and a big hit. Couple of Cougars right in on the return man. And we'll see if this further fires up the Cougars. You could feel that hit up here.
Oh, yeah, I just swallowed. It was one of those positional kicks from the Cougars, maybe either trying to find a hole in that return team, or they had targeted someone that they thought maybe might not hold on to the football. They kick it up high enough in the air. To the credit of the receiver, he did hold on to it, but paid the price, no doubt. Fantus, one of the defenders in on the hit there to hear that jarring crunch that we could hear clearly all the way up here in the booth.
Ball in the 42. Cougars D looking for a stop here. Now up by 1, 3-2 your score. Keeping it on the ground, and a familiar ball carrier with Logan White getting the honors once again. It's going to be a first down as he gets a whole bunch of yards, about 13 yards in that carry there.
Yeah, 13 yards, and he is quick and elusive. You can see that, and now Peterborough looks like they look to be going to a little bit of a hurry-up offense here with under 125 and counting to go in the first half, now trailing 3-2.
1:17 and counting. Quarterback dropping back to pass. Finding his man along the near side here, and that goes over top of Buckholz. Noah Buckholz's hands. Overthrowing him.
Good defense there from Jesse Stewart of the Cougars. Right on his man and up to make sure that he doesn't catch it.
2nd and 10. 1:12 remaining. Cougars want to prevent any more scoring here. And we have an injured Chatham-Kent Cougar. That is, I think that's Colin Menzies, who's a little slow getting off the field, but looks like he's going to be all right, maybe shaken up a bit. He gets a little assistance off the field. Or pardon me, I'm sorry, that's...
Yeah, you're right.
No, I'm sorry, that's Carter. That's Carter Claridge. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong... I'm looking at the wrong roster there, but it's 99 Carter Claridge, who is roughed up a little bit. Hopefully he'll be back in the second half. Again, up the middle, and an incomplete pass there over top of the receiver by a couple of feet. So Brock Manley, a couple incomplete passes here, and 3rd and 10 comes up quickly.
Minute 7 to go. Well, here's the question. Do they punt this one away? Or do they feel like with the time winding down in the first half, they want to put some points on the board and feel their defense can stop the Cougars offense and fake it once again?
A very, very high snap, and punter can't field it cleanly. Still somehow gets it away. There is a flag on the field. It's corralled by Trevor Niven of the Cougars past the 45-yard line, but a penalty flag is on the field here.
Yeah, that's the Cougars are going to pay the price for that one. Nathan McIntyre, the punter, as you saw, the snap was high. The punter had to retreat to pick up the ball and got the punt off just away, and just as he got that kick away, Nathan McIntyre came in with the shoulder and absolutely leveled the punter, and that is not allowed, and hence the penalty flag. It's going to be roughing the kicker, and the Wolverines are going to maintain possession of this football and keep this drive going with under a minute to play here in the first half. That penalty could be extremely costly.
Not sure what McIntyre was thinking on that one. Punter was already having a whole world of trouble corralling that football, and he did get the kick away. But you think if McIntyre just left the kicker alone, despite all the problems he was having, that could have turned out a lot better for the Cougars.
And what might have been going through the mind of McIntyre is that this punter is going to fake it again. I'm not going to dive to block the punt, and I'm going to attack the kicker because I believe that he's not actually going to try to punt the ball, but he did, and then got suckered into hitting the kicker.
He gambled and guessed wrong.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, potentially anyway. I mean, that is a possibility. Now it looks like the Cougars offense coming on the field. We'll wait for the explanation here from the officials. Well,
the Cougars
no explanation here. Trying to understand what exactly happened there. We'll try to clarify it for you and get you the explanation when we get it.
Having some room to find an open man, and he does. Great pass by Jalen Butcher. He finds Alex Gardner right up the middle, right at midfield at the 55-yard line. 52 seconds to play with here. Or well past the 55, pardon me. It's now the 48-yard line. Big play offensively there for the Cougars, trying to get even more points before heading to the locker room for halftime. High snap still brought down by Butcher. In a bit of problems, he's going to keep it now. He's going right up the middle. And a couple of flags coming out here. And that was Jalen Butcher taking a beating there.
Yeah, long after the whistle, in football terms anyway, at least a second and a half after the whistle blew, there was clearly a shot after the whistle from one of the defenders from the Wolverines. So Peterborough definitely getting the penalty here for taking that free shot on Jalen Butcher. And they're going to march this one against Peterborough, no doubt.
Perhaps this all stemmed from what Nathan McIntyre did to the punter of the Peterborough Wolverines, and this might translate into a rough second half.
It could, but we'll see how it all plays out. But you're right, it might have been retribution for the hit on the Peterborough kicker earlier on.
And a costly blowback there because the ball is now at the 33-yard line all of a sudden of Peterborough. And 40 seconds left to play with here for the Cougars as they already have a very slim lead, looking for more.
The officials now discussing something here. Again, we'll likely clarify the situation at halftime on why the Cougars received possession of the football after that personal foul against the Cougars.
40 seconds left. 33-yard line. Back into the action. Here's Butcher again trying to shake off a couple of defenders. Now a whole bunch of orange jerseys descend on the quarterback and bringing him down past the 35-yard line. And he'd be lucky to get to the line of scrimmage.
Butcher not getting a lot of time to plant his back foot back there and scan the field for an open receiver. A lot of pressure on the Cougars quarterback so far here in the first half. He's made a couple plays with his arm, though, to his credit, but going to need a little more time to find that open receiver.
Big play here, 2nd and 10, 33-yard line. Butcher dropping back, and again, he spins away from one defender, and then another one. Great job by Butcher. He's going to get a first down and more as he runs out of bounds close to the 15-yard line. He looked to be a target, I believe, of 60 Newton, who was almost beelining right to the quarterback without any trouble, but the quarterback Butcher able to spin away from him, and then another tackle, and then he got a huge pickup to the 16-yard line, out of bounds. There's still 10 seconds left to go here, so some time for the Cougars to add on to their 3-2 lead. Wow, that was big.
And that spin move was key to getting away from that pressure and then getting the big gain and getting them in a position here to potentially get a score before the half.
Butcher with a high snap. He brings it down. Pass. And it's caught for the touchdown. Ben Bartlett with a major score. And a 9-2 lead for the Cougars with 6.5 seconds in the first half. So great timing and everything working out perfectly for the Cougars in that last drive, the last part of that drive. And Bartlett able to haul that one in from Butcher, and the Cougars get a little bit more breathing room with a little bit of time left to go in this first half.
Wow, what a great offensive possession there from the Cougars. The 16-yard touchdown pass, and look to add the extra point here.
Kick is up.
Waiting on the signal here. We're not getting a signal yet on whether that kick was good or not.
Would have been they would have made commotion if it wasn't.
And there's the signal.
10-2. We finally get the confirmation from the officials on the field. So 10-2 now for the Cougars as they have 10 straight points on the board. And 6.5 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And they have the momentum on their side now. The Varsity Cougars with an 8-point lead.
Well, it's amazing how half of football can just change so much. And, I mean, when you look at the score, you would have been surprised after watching that first quarter. But to the Cougars' credit, they fought through some tough times early on and now lead this game 10-2, just 6.5 seconds to go before the half. And going to be key, though. You got to stay focused here on this kickoff because anything can happen, certainly. And we know Peterborough has some weapons.
And just a squib kick. Picked up by Peterborough and bowling his way to the 45-yard line, lowering the shoulder. 56 is Brad Anjavar. And he mowed his way around the 44-yard line. 1 second exactly left to go in quarter number 2. 10-2, the Cougars have the lead on the Wolverines.
Anjavar there is actually the center for Peterborough with the big return. He's I understand he's committed to the University of Ottawa for next year, the coaching staff tells me. Him
nice.
And along with their offensive guard, number 67, Garland, both of them heading to Ottawa next year in September. Maybe they'll make him a return man after that. Maybe they'll see that tape. Again, that was Anjavar, the center with the return.
And with 1 second left to go, the ball goes up in the air, and that one is well out of the reach of the intended receiver, 77. And it will Ball to the ground. So that's going to do it for the first half. It's a lengthy first half with the Cougars happy where they are right now. After the first 30 minutes, they lead 10-2 over the Peterborough Wolverines. Varsity football and the Cougars in their season opener looking fine after the first half. They have a few things to improve on, but moving ahead looks to be all right. They want to work on some things in the dressing room. We'll come back with the second half action in just a little bit. The Chatham-Kent Cougars leading 10-2 over Peterborough on TV Cogeco. Underway, second half action. The Chatham-Kent Cougars and the varsity squad up by 8 points on Peterborough. And Peterborough has the football to begin the third quarter as they bring it past the 20-yard line.
Well, we got a flag down here on the far end of the field. Looks like it's going against the Cougars. It's in the area where the Cougars were kicking off, so you figure it might have been an offside from the Cougars coverage team.
Only 5 seconds into the second half.
Offside is the signal. Free kick.
So we'll try this kick all over again after offsides called.
This wind blowing slightly into the face of the Cougars on this kickoff.
And the re-kick comes inside the 40-yard line, picked up by Peterborough, and they turn the corner past midfield and out around the 50-yard line of the Chatham-Kent Cougars. And that one, Cole Bartholomew on the return.
So that was a costly penalty there. If you think about where the return man was brought down previously, somewhere around the 30-yard line. Now Peterborough are going to get the ball at the Cougars' 50-yard line. So a 30-yard penalty basically on that offsides. And good field position to start the second half for the Wolverines.
Trying to get a good start to the second half after finding themselves suddenly down by 8 points. With Peterborough, now they go to the air. Long drive and almost intercepted. Almost getting there before anybody else was Tanner Emery.
Tanner Emery knocks down that pass.
Long pass there by Manley. And Emery had as good a chance as anybody to come down with that football and almost picked off, but still about a foot out of his reach.
I think it might have even hit Emery after the deflection. But would have been a tough play to make, and you're right, though, he did have a chance for sure.
So a 2nd and 10 here, 50-yard line for Peterborough, and they keep it on the ground, trying to turn away from a couple of defenders. Unsuccessfully was the running back. Nice job by the Cougars D, and that snuffs out Logan White's attempt at big yardage. And it looks like a slow to get up Wolverine at the 50-yard line, trying to get a number there, but apparently a lower body situation, injury. 3rd down and 15 for Peterborough. For a while, you weren't sure if the Cougars were going to get any points in this football game about midway through the second quarter, but all of a sudden, a field goal and a touchdown towards the very end of the second quarter. And it's a completely different football game right now. 10-2, they have the lead. And now the football. A minute and a half into this third quarter, trying to add to their lead even more here. And they must have the confidence on their side with the offense, because that last drive was quite impressive.
Yeah, you got to figure the Cougars got to be feeling better about themselves now than they did the beginning of this football game. They certainly had their struggles. Didn't get their first down until the second quarter of this football game, but managed to put some points on the board late in the first half. A field goal and then a nice drive and put one into the end zone with just 6.5 seconds left. So we'll see if the Cougars can build on that. But Peterborough's defense has been pretty stout as well. Both defensive squads playing well here today.
Cougars have some real estate to cover here. Already back to their 25-yard line as the ball handed off to the running back and really nowhere to go. Nice defense from the Wolverines. Looks like, I think, Karche with the carry, if I could see the number appropriately from back here. But running back for the Cougars had nothing to work with there and dropping a yard back. So 11 yards to go on second down here. So a tough place here for the Cougars offensively. On the arm of the quarterback, who is in trouble, double coverage, and he is thrown down as Butcher had two orange jerseys right in his face almost immediately.
It looks like the Wolverines came with a blitz around that far side. Looks like the might have been the safety that snuck around the far corner and got in on Jalen Butcher. And as we've mentioned, Butcher hasn't had a lot of time back there to throw, and the majority of the offense has come through the air for the Cougars. Not a ton of success in the ground game in this matchup so far today, but the Cougars have managed to put up some points, but again, most of their success coming through the air on some big passing plays.
So 3rd and 20 as they're back to boot it away. And they're just going to bring it back into the end zone, take a knee, and another 2 given up by the Cougars. So the second time they've done that today, playing the field position. That's going to make it a 10-4 football game. And getting the football back will be the Peterborough Wolverines, but and a big run here for Peterborough. Past the 45-yard line. And it looks to be enough for the first down, so about a 12-yard run for Peterborough. 1st and 10 up to the 47-yard line, still in their own end of the field. And 11:40 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Peterborough picking up huge chunks of yards in that ground game so far here.
And again, they keep it on the ground. A familiar face taking the football, Logan White. He picks up a couple.
Better defense there from the Cougars. And looks like somebody taking a knee there on the far side for Peterborough. A little shaken up.
Brennan Garland, I think, number 67. Garland being walked off the field.
As I mentioned earlier, Garland apparently committed to the University of Ottawa for September.
Dropping back to pass, trying to find that open receiver and finding him. Nice completed pass. Doesn't come out. A completed pass McIntyre on the stop for the Cougars, but good arm from Brock Manley finding his man along the far side.
Boy, that was an interesting play because the catch was made. Anyway, the officials ruled that the catch was made, and then McIntyre was able to scramble back, make the tackle, and jar the ball loose, so it was actually a fumble, but then good hustle from one of the Wolverines to follow up the play and jump onto that fumble, and Peterborough retains possession.
Up the middle, now turning the corner off to the right once again. It's Logan White. And minimal pickup there.
Good tackle there from number 33, Carter Wood, going low. If you don't have your legs, you can't go anywhere, and Wood does a good job getting down on White's legs and wrapping him up and taking him down for a minimal gain.
Ball on the Cougar 20-yard line. 2nd and 9. Back to pass once again to the end zone. And again, a Cougar was the closest player to that football. And Trevor Niven falling incomplete. 3rd and 9 coming up now for Peterborough, as they might try to go for 3 here on the heels of another safety. 10-4 football game. Trying to come to within 3 of Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, and looks like that's what they're going to do. It's amazing how the complexion of a game can change. In the first half, Peterborough chose not to go for field goals when they were in scoring position, and attempt to go for the majors. This time now, trailing 10-4, going to elect to attempt the field goal and put some more points on the board.
Under 9.5 to play. And the kick is up. And getting the official.
No good.
No good. It went a little bit wide. And actually, a couple of the players from Peterborough kind of flabbergasted from that call. Especially number 98, Warren Reed, is wondering why that was called wide. No real protest from any other player. Cougars back on offense, and a throw that is just out of the reach of Nathan McIntyre as he's sprinting down the left side.
McIntyre had a step and a half on his man. Of course, you recognize that number 11 also plays defensive back. But yeah, had a step and a half, showing his speed there, getting behind the defense, but just slightly overthrown by Jalen Butcher.
Second and 10 for Chatham-Kent. Again, Butcher trying to find an open man. Now keeps the football himself. There's a flag on the play as he crosses the 45-yard line.
That's a shame. And that's one of the few times that we've actually seen Jalen Butcher have some time to plant his back foot and scan the field for an open receiver.
This one perhaps
this is
coming
likely,
back.
You would expect this one likely a hold along that offensive line. It's in that area. You can only block for so long before sometimes you have to take a little bit of a liberty.
That would have given first down yardage for the Cougars, but instead it comes back. And it comes back a fair distance. 10-yard penalty. Up by 5. It's a 10-5 lead for the Cougars. 1 point off that missed field goal a couple of minutes ago, so 10-5 the score, and nowhere to go there for Jalen Butcher.
We have a flag. I think it might be a face mask.
DJ Williamson celebrating after that sack, but see what the officials say here. Another flag comes out. So a face mask called against Peterborough. An objectionable conduct on the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Well, the result is a first down here for the Cougars as they will regroup here at the 30-yard line.
And we can't tell you who the objectionable conduct is. Not identified there by the officials who that penalty was on for the Cougars.
First and 10, 30-yard line. 8.5 to play in quarter 3. And again, quarterback in a bit of heat. Gets the pass away. And was it intercepted? Did he catch it? Or did it hit the ground? Officials, I believe, are saying
incomplete, although from here
ground.
I thought he got his hands under it, but certainly I'm further away than the official is, but it looked like that was a close call.
Butcher again on the shotgun formation, waits a couple minutes, can't find anybody, and keeps it himself, and fumbles the football.
No, they're going to say he was down.
Down at around the 35-yard line.
We've got a couple players down now, I think, including the quarterback, Jalen Butcher. Yeah, Butcher, I believe that's Butcher that's down right now. And one of the other players that was down, one of the Wolverines, did get up slowly, involved in that collision as well. But I believe that might be the quarterback for the Cougars that's down right now. It is good to see Jalen Butcher get up now and walk off the field under his own strength. But in terms of the game now, at third down, the Cougars likely going to punt this away. So if there is a quarterback change, we won't see it till the next possession likely, where we believe it will be Marcus Shad, who is the backup quarterback.
Okay, to recap, not a lot of scoring early in this football game. Cougars were down 2-0 for the longest time on just a safety. And they scored 10 consecutive points late in the first half, taking a 10-2 lead. And 3 points here for Peterborough in this third quarter. And Peterborough has the football back, a return to the 45-yard line. And Logan White has had a lot of the football so far in this game. And the Wolverines have it. Again, the 45-yard line at their own side of the field.
Well, this game has really turned into a defensive battle, hasn't it? Early on, we thought maybe it was going to be an offensive explosion from Peterborough, and that just never evolved, and now it's really turned into this pound and grind kind of offensive game between these two clubs.
And by and large, the defense doing a great job for the Cougars, and they're asked to make another big stop here, keep this a 5-point lead as we're at the halfway point of this third quarter. Dropping back to pass and going fairly long, and this could be picked off, almost is. Right there was Thomas Van Ray for the Cougars. Ball pretty much thrown right at him and just a little past his arms.
Looks like there was some miscommunication there between the receiver and the quarterback. They overloaded the near side of the field where we are here in front of the booth and sent a single receiver on the far side looking for single coverage. And Looked like the receiver ran an underneath route to the outside, and he was expecting him to go deep.
And after a bit of time deciding, quarterback hands it off to the running back once again, and taking it was Logan White out of the hands of Brock Manley. And past the 50-yard line. Oh, they're calling it right at the 50-yard line. Will be third down and about 4 to go. So decision time here for Peterborough.
Looked like it might have been a bit of a delayed trap on the inside. Decent gain, and again, the punting unit comes out, but every time they come out, it leaves you questioning what they're going to do.
After 4 times in the first half, you never know what to expect.
And this is it's a manageable 3rd and 4.
And right at midfield.
That's right. It is an opportunity for them to run another fake.
And this time, nope, they get it out. It certainly is an angled kick. Lots of air to it. And knocks down the 30-yard line sign. The Cougars will take over.
So we'll see who comes in at quarterback here after Jalen Butcher was shaken up, and he didn't look like he was going to be in any condition to come out and quarterback this team for the next offensive possession. And
looks like it is going to be Shad, Mike.
Marcus Shad, number 7, going to lead this offense now. So we'll see what kind of success they have moving the football now with a change at quarterback, with Jalen Butcher getting shaken up on that last offensive possession. Well, you got to figure that Shad has some decent speed. He plays the wide receiver position as his primary position, so I wouldn't be surprised we see him run around a little bit back there.
Full backfield, and he quickly hands it off to the running back up to the 35-yard line. Gain of around 3 yards on first down. And Collette getting the modest gain, under 6 to play. 34-yard line is where it gets to, so a couple of yards on the carry.
I understand Collette going to attend Lambton College, plans to attend Lambton College for firefighter and paramedic programs.
Once again, it remains on the ground, and actually this results in quite the loss as it doesn't leave the quarterback's hands, and Shad gets taken down.
And the pressure just continues in that backfield. It just doesn't seem like it's slowed down at all. Peterborough just camping out in the backfield of the Cougars offense. And that certainly makes it tough to operate your offense with any success, any consistent success.
So 6-yard sack, 3rd and 14. Kick is up, comes down around the 45-yard line, about a 5-yard return. Number 6 is Johnny Watson on the return for Peterborough.
Good coverage there from Chance Beaumont and Max Van Toos in on that tackle. Minimal return. Just seems like we keep hitting the replay button here the last 2-3 possessions. The Cougars offense has stalled a little bit, and Peterborough, the Wolverines, getting the ball at midfield continuously, but the Cougars defense keep coming up to the task of making the stops.
I think the offense happens in spurts.
Yes.
In the long stretches of defensive battles. 49-yard line is where the Wolverines have it, and getting out of a couple of tackles there. Running back for the Wolverines doing it once again. Logan White turning almost nothing into a big, big gain close to the 40-yard line, 45-yard line. 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 45
15-yard gain there from Logan White. Runs right into the middle of that defense, kind of bounces around on the inside and then just wiggles his way out of it, bounces it to the outside and turns on the Jets, and a nice pickup and keeps this offense trucking for Peterborough.
Shovel pass off to the left. Again, Logan again with the carry, turning the corner, past the 40-yard line, and finally takes a lot of Cougars to bring him down. There is a flag on the field.
We'll see here if it's if it might be a hold against Peterborough on that far side on the edge.
It looks like it is moving backwards.
This penalty is against Peterborough. Major foul face mask against Peterborough there.
Personal foul face mask, the back of ball 15 yards.
That is big.
So 2nd and 20 here.
Back to pass, some pressure by the Cougars defense, and it falls well over top of the reach of Logan White. Good pressure on Brock Manley by the Cougars D.
Carter Wood gets the pressure, and that's a good job there because it looks like they're trying to put together a screen pass on that left side, and Carter Wood gets enough pressure on the quarterback to force that pass to be a little bit long for the intended receiver. And now a 3rd and 20. Again, though, with this Peterborough team, you just never know what to expect when that punting unit comes out. Even though it's 3rd and 20, they are at midfield.
And this is up and away here, and it will fall well out of bounds.
They just don't want to give the Cougars special teams any chance to break a big play on a return. They've just consistently kicked the ball out of bounds.
Cougars still with a 5-point lead, 10-5, under 4 to play. Quarter number 3, 3:49 left. A beautiful day for football here at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex. The second game of the day is the Pee Wee Cougars, victorious earlier on, a 24-0 win over the Forest City Thunderbirds to kick off the Pee Wee season as well. Here's senior varsity, and the Cougars enjoying a lead. They get the football back here to try and expand that lead.
Again, it's going to be Marcus Schad at quarterback for this, what's going to be his second drive at the quarterback position. Again, Jalen Butcher.
Helmet off in the sideline across the way there, so no word on Butcher's injury.
But he was shaken up and down on the field for a little while. They were looking at his neck, so the backup quarterback, Marcus Schad, in for his second offensive possession. The first one was a 2-and-out, and he was sacked on his second play of that 2-and-out.
Schad receives the pass in the shotgun formation, doesn't see him anything he likes, but keeps it himself, trying to get around a couple of defenders, turns the corner, and he gets it past the 50-yard line. Good job. Nice athletic ability there by Marcus Schad.
Well, we know he's got wheels. As we said, his primary position is wide receivers, so if there's going to be pressure, there's a good chance he can outrun it if there's a lane, and he found a lane that time and gets enough for the first down, a gain of about 11 or 12 yards there.
And the Cougars need to string a few of those plays together here in this drive. Clock continues to tick, under 3 minutes to go in quarter 3. And a high snap. Shad brings it down, still hands it off to the running back. Nice job as the quarterback, or the running back, eludes a couple of plays. And that was 35 Clifford Lindsay, or pardon me, sorry, that's Alex Gardner for the Cougars. Flag is down on the field, however.
I think we might have a hold here against the Cougars. It was in the area of where Max Fantus was making a block.
First and 20, Shad. And he is intercepted. And maybe going towards the end zone. And he gets in for the pick 6 as Shad gets intercepted. And just like that, the game changes quite quickly, and the momentum all in favor of Peterborough right there. And it looks like that was Francis Lafayette, 45 of Peterborough, who took that one all the way to the house for the interception and touchdown. And they take the lead back.
That was, I believe, Shad's first pass attempt since coming in at quarterback. I think that's going to be offside against the Cougars. Looked like they might have jumped.
And the kick is up for the extra point. And through. 12-10 is the score now for Peterborough, as they have now reeled off 10 straight points after the Cougars had 10 points in a row themselves.
Not sure why, but this may be the longest third quarter of football I've ever sat through. This quarter almost seems like it could have been a full game for some reason.
2 hours and 15 minutes of football, and not done 3 quarters just yet here. And not a ton of scoring either. 12-10. Your score right now for the Wolverines, leading the Cougars. Cougars getting the football back here. 2:28 to play. Quarter number 3. Cougars need to find another spark on the offense. Coming off the pick 6, Shad's interception brought right back to the end zone. And picked up the Chatham-Kent Cougars, number 11. See what he can do here with McIntyre still on his feet. Getting around one defender and finally brought down past the 30-yard line. So respectable field position. Another high snap. Shad brings it down, keeps the football himself. And a lot of high snaps in this game from the Cougars.
And that makes it difficult because obviously the higher the snap, the longer it takes the play to develop, throws off your timing if you have a handoff with the running back.
Another high snap. And Shad brings it down. Finally forced out along the far side. Is there a flag?
Well, surprisingly,
no?
it looked like it might have been offside from up here, but no flag was thrown. Tanner Emery, no, excuse me, Trevor Niven back to punt this one away.
Low snap for the punter that time. He's able to get a very high kick away, some good distance on it back to the 40-yard line. And past the 45, and 45 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. A 2-point lead for the Peterborough Wolverines and the Chatham-Kent Cougars. And the Wolverines will go back to offense here to start the last few seconds of the third quarter. Quarterback finds his man, a completed pass, but that's snuffed out quickly. A couple of Cougars in on the stop after Warren Reed grabs Manley's pass.
And not much of a gain there. Good play from the Cougars defense, getting there right away as soon as the pass was caught. No yards after the catch, and they're not even going to move the sticks.
No gain, no yards after the catch, and the final few seconds of the third quarter ticking down. So this will be the final play of the third. A long third. I believe it took 3.5 hours to play the third quarter. And almost a pass play. Quarterback faking. Instead of doing that, he hands it off to the running back, Logan White. And again, good job by the Cougars defense. White only getting 2 at the very most. And that will bring an end to the third quarter.
A little draw play to end the third quarter there, and good job by the Cougars defense, staying patient with it, not biting on the on what looked to be a passing play, and coming up with a big stop and a big third down.
So at the end of the third quarter, the Cougars find themselves down by a couple of points. It's 12-10 for the Peterborough Wolverines. A nice kick by Peterborough as it comes back behind the 30-yard line. Cougars grab it, and nice return almost back to the 35-yard line for Chatham-Kent. Safely into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, nice return there from Ben Bartlett. Well, it certainly doesn't make things easy when you lose your starting quarterback in the opening game of the season, and your backup is forced to come in and play in the third quarter. But that's the situation here the Cougars face, and well, it's going to be up to this offense to respond, now trailing by 2 points into the fourth quarter.
Shad again under center, scrambling to his left, trying to make something happen himself into a bit of a crowd. And actually not bad yardage there. As he scrambled off to the far side, looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 5.
Yeah, it looked like it was a quarterback option there. That time, Marcus Shad takes a snap and then rolls out to his left side, the far side of the field, with the running back coming with him, and then he pitched it out to the running back, who was able to pick up a couple more yards there and brings up 2nd and 5. A decent pickup there on first down, and that kind of a play, that option kind of play, seems to fit the style that we see from Shad. That works to his strengths. He's obviously got some quickness and some athletic ability.
Marcus Shad dropping back to pass. Heaves up the football, trying to find his man, and he's got it. Great catch by Dwan Mayu. 83 as he brings that one down. A nice pass from Marcus Shad. Mayu brings it in, and that could be just what the doctor ordered here for the Cougars. Finding themselves again down by a couple of points, and they got a lot of real estate covered with that one pass.
Certainly did. Great catch by Mayu there, just going up to get that football at its highest point. Great job holding onto it, and boy, Shad's got an arm, that's for sure. He threw that one in the air about 50 yards, I'd say, and great job by Mayu to go up and get it.
Still lots of time to play here in this fourth quarter. Another high snap, but Shad brings it down, keeps it himself. Looks like that's what he wanted to do from the entire start, but unable to do very much with it. Quickly stopped by the defense of Peterborough.
Yeah, good job by Peterborough that time, recognizing the option play, and they forced Shad to hold on to it, and then the outside man comes in to clean him up. Ends up losing 2 yards on that play.
Ball on the 28-yard line of the Peterborough club. Second and 12. Again, the shotgun. Shad has it. Pass. And again, intercepted by Peterborough. And number 13 bringing that one in. That is Devin Claypool with another interception. So rough go here for Marcus Shad. He's thrown a couple of picks here in the second half. And disappointing after he made that giant gain. The deflating interception there for the Cougars offense. Now back on the ground for Peterborough. Giant gain on the ground for Logan White as he brings the football to around midfield. And 11 and a half minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Well, just a 2-point game here. Going to come down to this Cougars defense coming up with some big stops and giving the offense a chance to at least to get into a position to kick a field goal and take a lead. This Peterborough offense seems to be finding a bit of a stride here late in this second half.
Again, they keep it on the ground, and again, Logan White has it. He has been one of the big offensive stars for his team in this game. He just continues to move that football down the field. A 2-point lead for his team. And Peterborough, the Wolverines, trying to capitalize on another interception thrown by the Cougars. And they keep it on the ground. That time they go the other way. Still on the ground. And Michael McNeil, he gets some serious yards on the heels of a few runs by Logan White. This time Michael McNeil has a turn. And the Cougar defense looking a little bit exhausted here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges of being on the field a fair amount of time is, you know, that exhaustion can start to kick in, and fatigue can really frustrate you as you get toward the end of a game.
Another run for the Peterborough Wolverines. It's a little difficult to say once in a while. The Peterborough Wolverines. Really gets your mouth muscles going. That's my story. Why'd you look at me like that?
Although I was surprised at the colors when I heard the name, the Peterborough Wolverines, because obviously We associate the Wolverines with the Michigan Wolverines, of course, the maize and blue, but that's certainly not maize and not blue.
Bright orange for the boys from Peterborough, and again, a couple of Cougars making the stop on the run from Peterborough. And Claridge getting the half stop there. Michael McNeil getting a few carries late in this football game in the fourth quarter. Maybe giving White a bit of a breather.
Sorry, but the mic brings up a third down here, and Peterborough going to look to build on that lead. Looks like they're bringing in the field goal team. Although I really don't believe any team that they bring in anymore after all the fake punts that we've seen so far.
Have we seen one in the second half? I think that was all contained from the first, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, perhaps early in the second, but that's about it.
But it happened so quickly. 4 fake field goals in about a quarter and a half. You just never know right here. And they are going to attempt the field goal. Kick is up. And
I believe it's no good.
Goes wide, I believe. And it's going to be a single point, making it a 13-10 lead now for Peterborough. So they have a 3-point lead with 8.5 to play in the fourth quarter.
Well, still within a field goal then here for the Cougars. They've got to find an answer on offense. The Cougars just have had a tough time keeping Peterborough out of their backfield, and the run game has been fairly ineffective so far from Chatham-Kent. And before the game, speaking with the coaching staff, the strength of the offense are their wide receivers, so that would play to the favor of throwing the football. Unfortunately, they're without their starting quarterback now, who's out with an injury. And Marcus Shad has had his struggles. He has 2 interceptions, one of them returned for a touchdown here in the second half.
Great to see Jalen Butcher back into this football game. Wasn't sure if he was going to.
There he is, wow.
Didn't know if he was going to come back in, if they were kind of taking it slowly with him, and kind of a precautionary way after that injury he had a little while ago in this football game. But it is good to see Jalen Butcher obviously not hurt all that badly, and he's able to come back for second half of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's really good to see. First of all, for health concerns, the fact that he's back in there after being dinged up earlier on in this half. And then secondly, for the offense, maybe it's a spark for them to get things going again, because it was under his guidance that they were able to put up 10 points.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunate that Shad had to throw a couple of picks with his time under center. One leading to a return for a touchdown, a pick 6. And a 13-10 lead, so 11 unanswered points here for Peterborough. And Butcher back into the game for the Cougars. Passes complete, little dump pass along that far side. And past the 40-yard line, so it looks like they picks up around 6 yards or so on that small pass play.
Looked like they were setting up a screen on that side there. Number 15, Cody Miller with the reception. Understand he's committed to the University of Windsor to go into the criminology program. A Blenheim District High School product.
And an injury bringing the play to a halt here with 8:05 to go, 13-10.
Well, and I like that call play too for Jalen Butcher on his first snap under center. Just a little screen pass, nothing deep down the field, nothing where he has to take a big shot. Just something that's an easy completion to get his confidence going. And we've got an offside from the Cougars.
A little bit too eager to cross the line.
It's so tough when you throw that timing off. Certainly have had a handful of the offsides. The referees, the receivers just getting ahead of the snap.
2nd and 9, another flag. The dreaded orange flags have been haunting the Cougars all afternoon long. And on top of that, quarterback brought down. Butcher sacked. We'll see if I initially assumed it was against the Cougars, but we'll see if
is this one going against? This is going against Peterborough.
This is actually going to go against Peterborough,
Wow.
which is a break here for the Cougars as they stem the tide that way a little bit. So we're back to 2nd and 4.
Well, that could be big here.
Again, down by 3, lots of time, 7:38 to play, 4th quarter. Season opener for the Varsity Cougars. And Butcher again back to pass, doesn't find anybody, and he takes it up the middle himself. A lot of yardage and more than enough for a first down. He gets almost up to midfield, about the 53-yard line. And a good job for Butcher to make that play happen himself.
Yeah, and to not take a big shot at the end of it, too. Make sure he doesn't aggravate any kind of the lingering effects of anything that had troubled him earlier that knocked him out of the game for 3 offensive possessions.
And again, he finds a guy up the middle. And there is Marcus Shad back to the wide receiver position after filling in for Butcher for a couple of series. And Shad brings that one in for another large gain. So back-to-back big plays for the Cougars offense. And the football now rests at the 35-yard line in the heart of the Peterborough side of the football field here. Once again, the Cougars will bring it back to the ground. This time a minimal gain, if any.
Interesting note about the quarterback for the Cougars, Jalen Butcher. You know he's got some toughness, not just based on the fact that he's come back from injury in this game, but he's actually a converted baseball player. He plays catcher. So obviously, you know, the collisions that you can see at the catcher position. So he's used to certainly getting hit, I'm sure, a couple times, and that's where you see that arm come from, the strong arm you got to have to throw to second base.
And trying to scramble out of trouble is Butcher. Can't quite do it. He spikes the football out of frustration. Couldn't do much on 2nd and long. But a 1-yard pickup is all they get there. So the 3rd down and 8 is going to come up here, and the football's still around the 34-yard line.
You wonder, are they going to... we'll see what kind of kicking game they've got if they're going to go for a field goal here.
Got to get a lot of
kick
on this one.
The breeze was blowing into the face earlier of the Cougars in the direction they're going right now, but it has died down.
I think it's still blowing in their face, but it's not a very strong breeze at all right now.
And no, it looks like they're going to punt it away.
Okay. Trying to pin the Wolverines deep in their own side of the field, and this was a terrible snap, well over top of the head of the punter, and now he gets the kick away to the 20-yard line, and the return will bring it around the 30. So a wild series of events there, a terrible snap, and Niven was still somehow able to get a good kick away to the 20 and then return back to the 30-yard line. So really the end result of all that craziness, not bad, I guess. They didn't get the ball nearly as deep as they wanted to into Peterborough territory, but that could have been a disaster.
It really could have been a great job by Niven to rescue that play by first eluding the would-be tackler and then getting the kickoff before the 2 would-be Wolverines were able to get in there and make a play on him.
A pass along that far side. Watson grabbing the football from the quarterback, Manley. Big 2nd and 5 play here, and plenty of first down yardage there as they keep it on the ground. And White again getting a first down for his club. Under 4 to play, 3:55 and counting left in this fourth quarter. And so now Peterborough trying to kill as much clock as they possibly can here and make this a long drive. Cougars trying to get that ball back however they can. 1st and 10. Needing a couple of big stops here, back to back. And almost bobbled there by the running back, but he grabs it and he's running down the field, getting around the defense, still on his feet down that far sideline, getting down to around the 10-yard line or very close to it. And another huge run by Logan White, who's got a whole lot of rushing yardage in this football game.
Boy, Logan White is just a weapon that the Cougars have had a tough time containing all day. Sometimes he just makes other defenders look like they're standing still, and he just blows past people. And that time was no exception before finally being dragged down thanks to the hustle of a couple defenders from the Cougars just short of the goal line.
And they actually get inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, so a 1st and goal coming up here for Peterborough. And another timeout taken here. Peterborough the ones taking the timeout. Trying to get a healthy lead with not a lot of time left on the clock here in this fourth quarter, 3:08. And back after the timeout in the 1st and 9, they keep it on the ground.
Well, this is going to come down to defense right here. The Cougars trailing by 3 points. You got to think they've got to hold Peterborough to a field goal attempt.
4-yard pickup on that last run. 3-minute warning is upon us. Flip to the running back. A nice stop by the Cougars. Right on it was number 33, Carter Wood. And nowhere for Logan White to go there. So a good job by the defense. 3rd and 15 coming up now. So with that, looks like there's very little chance for the end zone to be reached for Peterborough. Again, there's a chance for another fake to happen at any time, but if they can limit them to 3 or less here and still have that chance for a major score down on the other end of the field.
Yeah, good job there by Wood. Get that penetration and make the tackle in the backfield. Bring up the 3rd and long, and again, that's going to be key, this field goal attempt. If they put this on the board, that would be a 6-point lead, would mean the Cougars would need a major.
Kick is up. And that is good. So it's a 6-point lead for the Wolverines. Peterborough 16, Chatham-Kent 10. And still 2:22 to play in the fourth quarter, so still plenty of time to move the football down the field. But they've got to find that offensive magic that they had briefly at the end of the first half.
They certainly do. As I mentioned, got to get into the end zone now, trailing by 6 with just 2:22 left. And you got to figure the Wolverines defense going to be playing kind of a prevent defense, expecting the pass. Cougars haven't had a lot of success running the football, and certainly one of the strengths of this Peterborough defense has been to get the pressure into the Cougars' backfield, not really allow the quarterback to set up for very long back there and look for an open receiver. They could certainly use a spark here with a big return on special teams, but I don't know that Peterborough's going to kick this all the way to the return men. I wouldn't be surprised you see a bit of a squib kick here.
Claypool with the kick, and it is a line drive.
Oh, and it goes out of bounds. That's not what you want from your kicker.
Inside the 20.
So the Cougars going to get good field position here to start.
Exactly. Yep. Ball gets moved up a fair bit. And about 25 yards from where it went out of bounds. So
for those that aren't aware yet, kicking the ball out of bounds on the kickoff is a penalty, and you get to start your offensive possession at the 40-yard line. Obviously, to discourage teams from kicking the ball out of bounds, you want to see a return game.
So here we go. Let's see how much of a pushback the Cougars have here. It was once a 10-2 lead, 14 straight points here for Peterborough. And the quarterback lobs the football up in the air, and it is brought down. Nice catch by the Cougars and number 82, Ben Bartlett, as Butcher able to find him.
25-yard gain on that pass and catch.
46-yard line is where it comes down. And still plenty of time, 2:17 to go in the fourth quarter. Once again, Butcher this time hands it off to the running back, and penalty flag
I think
comes down immediately.
Yeah, I think we've got a false start on the Cougars offense.
So that brings the football back 5 yards to the 51.
Looked like one of the offensive linemen was just a little bit too eager to pull there on that play.
First and 15 with Butcher dropping back to pass, and falls down right at midfield. He was hearing footsteps right behind him. And that pushes the football back to midfield, exactly 2nd down and 20. And this is moments after a 1st and 10 from the 45 of Peterborough. This changes the complexion quite a bit now. Under 2 to play. Here's Butcher again, finding a hole, running the football himself, and a good run all the way to the 40-yard line. Still about 5 yards shy of the first down, but it looks a lot better than 2nd and 20. It's going to be a 3rd and 5.
And much more manageable here at an attempt to get a first down, because you know you have to go for it on 3rd now with just 1:40 to go.
So Butcher's 15-yard run. Pretty much the best that the Cougars could have expected in that situation right there. 90 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Clock running, 3rd and 5. Here's your game right here. Big pressure by the defense, getting the football away, and it is caught by 82, Ben Bartlett. That is a huge play there. Good pass, great catch as Butcher hooks up with Bartlett. With 1:21 to go, 1st and 10 from the 30, pretty much the 30-yard line.
Great job by Butcher to keep that play alive. Uses speed and athleticism to get outside the pocket, outrun the defense, and then get that pass off.
16 to 10. Cougars need to find the end zone. Butcher, and another flag. Butcher showing his frustration with all the flags that the Cougars have had in this football game. Here's Butcher. Still pressure as he weaves around a few defenders. Gets close to the 30-yard line. On 1st and 15, gets 4, maybe 5 yards on foot.
Yeah, it gets back to the original line of scrimmage there.
Bringing up another very crucial play here on 2nd and 10.
Just needs some time in that backfield to be able to plant his foot, but just not getting it.
Butcher back to pass again. Has to hurry to get the pass away. He does, and floats it very close to Max Fantus. He found his fingertips, but Fantus couldn't haul it in. And a couple of orange jerseys right with him there, too. So 3rd and 10, under a minute to play, 59 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. 31-yard line.
Yeah, this is huge right here. This is it, 3rd and 10. Good attempt there by Fantus. That was a jump ball, and good job by the defense to make sure it fell incomplete. And we have a Cougar that's shaken up here.
Jalen Butcher in the shotgun. Has the football. Evades one tackle in a whole world of trouble here, however, on 3rd and 10. And they ruling him down after he shoveled that football away. And now a flag comes out.
Flag on the play.
And it looks like too much jawing going on by the Cougars, getting them that flag.
I don't think they were happy that the whistle was blown just as Butcher was trying to flip the ball away and get it out to a receiver as he was being dragged down. And I think the official was ruling that he was already in the grasp and was on his way down, so didn't allow the forward pass. And one of the Cougars, I believe, said something to the official that forced that flag to come out, and that's what they're saying now. It's unsportsmanlike conduct on the Cougars.
So that will end the Cougars' offensive drive there, giving the ball back to Peterborough, and more than likely dashing their hopes of a season-opening victory in their home field this afternoon. 6-point lead for Peterborough. Barring some kind of turnover or miracle here, looks like the visitors will go back on the bus victorious. They keep it on the ground. They keep possession. And Logan White just continues to rack up the possessions and the yards in this football game. No yards gained there. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got half a yard on that one. 47 seconds to go.
Obviously, Peterborough here going to milk the clock down as far as they can before they snap it.
Second and 10. They run it right up the middle once again. Very minimal gain. Again, more time will run right off the clock. 3rd and probably 8 going on here. So the Cougars hope that they can somehow get this football and bring it back to the big house.
Was that a reference to the Wolverines there?
Oh, no, it wasn't, but I see what you did there. The Peterborough Wolverines with a 6-point lead on the Cougars. 16-10, only a handful of seconds left to go in this 4th quarter. 2.3 seconds left on the clock. 3rd and 7. We'll punt this one away. Punter going back, puts down a knee, and that's the football game. They effectively end this one, so the Cougars don't even get a chance to get the football and run it back. And the Cougars come up empty in their season opener in the varsity side. They lose 16-10 to the Peterborough Wolverines. So the Cougars 1-1 on this day of season openers as the Pee Wee team wins 24-0. They had a great offensive game and defensive game against the Forest City Thunderbirds, and followed up by the varsity game here with the Cougars falling a little bit short against Peterborough.
Yeah, it was a good effort. There's no doubt. Certainly the strength of the Cougars in this game was their defensive play. And Peterborough just in almost seemed like a war of attrition ended up coming out on top. by 6 points. So unfortunately for the Cougars varsity squad, opening up with a loss, a hard-fought loss, no doubt, but a tough loss. But I got to say, on first blush after their first game, this Cougars squad comes across as a gutsy team. They look like they'll fight right to the end, and that's a good sign. As you saw from their quarterback, Jalen Butcher, this is a tough team. You know, he missed 3 offensive possessions, came back in the game, had a chance there at the end. They had a drive going and just came up short, but I expect this Cougars team to improve. I mean, one of the glaring, pieces of work that they're going to focus on, obviously, are those false starts on offense. I mean, I think they must have had, by the end of the game, 6 or 7 of them at least. And that's just tough to overcome as an offense and as a team as a whole. When you're shooting yourself in the foot like that, you're just constantly moving in the wrong direction. So I see bright things to come from this squad. They get some things cleaned up, and they'll be a fun team to watch.
Should be an interesting season. Follow them. Make sure you get onto their website. It's chatham-cougars.com and find their schedule. Get here to their home games, the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, right behind Chatham-Kent Secondary School on McNaughton in Chatham. So follow the Cougars. All 4 of their classes, too, with Pee Wee, Bantam, Junior Varsity, and the varsities that we just saw here this afternoon, coming up just short 16-10. Against the Peterborough Wolverines. So again, we will follow the team all season long. Keep a close eye to TV Cogeco for more Chatham-Kent Cougar action. On behalf of Matt on the camera this afternoon, Mike James, my name is Mike Renier. We will talk with you soon with more action. The Chatham-Kent Cougars on TV Cogeco.